17 lines from the top, page 94, chapter 27, Chav Zayin, Shaar HaEmunah, written by the Middler Rebbe. We're just saying now that how the Nefesh Elokis receives an aliyah through the work of Nefesh Tivius. Now, and my understanding is that, again, it's the Pirkei Atzelim, which is the go-between, also from Nefesh Elokis and Nefesh Tivius, and I'm thinking, I don't know, but I'm thinking from the also Nefesh Tivius, Nefesh Elokis, but that might not be the case, because, as is well known, there's a difference between the Or Yashar, the light that comes from above, down below, and the Or Choizer, the way the light returns. It's usually a much more powerful energy. When the light comes down, after the lights come down in this world and it goes back upwards, it's much more powerful. Okay. Ta'al yedei habir neshama duguf ta'ala l'mayla mishorsho. So by means of having a rectification process of the body in this world, the neshama to the guf specifically, it will affect from place higher than its root above. L'mayla mishorsho. So, you know, how is this possible? So what this means is that it's going higher than the root of the Nefesh Elokis above. That when we do Teshuvah Masim Toivim down here in this world, it actually affects a place higher than the root of the Nefesh Elokis, and that's essentially how and why the Nefesh Elokis gets an aliyah, because it's getting like a re-established connection to a place higher than where it's rooted in altogether. How does that happen? Hatam biyusrun haor shiyabo mitoich hachoshech dafka. The reason for this is because there's a much greater light that comes from the darkness specifically. So when light is generated down in this world, and it's specifically through our Nefesh Tivius, there's a much greater light that's generated from that than from light that's generated and just sitting and basking in the light of the Shekhinah up above. Because you're taking things down in this world and you're really revealing it for what it is. And specifically from, which is Hashem, and when you're specifically revealing that this darkness itself is actually Hashem, then that's a much more powerful light that's generated from that than just showing Hashem as Hashem. It's showing even the Havaya, Hu Elokim. We all know Hashem is Hashem up there, but when you see it from down here in this perspective, a greater light is generated as a result of that. And that's why, and I'm thinking that's why that we're going to have this physical world and not just a spiritual world. We're going to have a physical world in Olam Haba, when Mashiach comes and reveals himself completely, Gula Shlema, and a spiritual world like the Rambam states. And that's why the Chabad Hasidus perspective holds that the physical world, it just shows that the physical world is what we want and this is what we need, and we need to affect it positively. And that's why the Chabad Hasidus is always emphasizing these points throughout the Maimorim, that everything, it needs to be physical. Okay. Dafka v'zehu ayin ba'ayin, because it's eye to eye you will see. And for my flesh specifically, I will perceive Hashem. And for my flesh specifically, I will be putting out Chassidus on the internet. You can always check me out at chassidusinenglish.blogspot.com or on my YouTube channel, the YouTuber Rebbe, as you know, if you're watching it, right? Okay, blah blah blah. In kain lo haya yodua ulai v'yachelu l'gehenim labar b'chinas aselim the nefesh ativius shenikra mazla. Therefore, this is what was going on with Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai. He didn't know, what he was able to accomplish, what he was able to do, and he wasn't sure if he was going to get Gehenna or not. And if he rectified his level of the Tselem or the Nefesh Ativius, which is called the Mazla, that's called the Mazla, the Pirkei Tselem, Sh'al Yedei Zeh Yachol Laboy Lirus HaRuchnis the Neshama V'Gan Eden. And it's specifically through this that he would be able to come to a spiritual seeing of the neshama in Gan Eden. Without this, lo yiyeh, lo derech lavo Lydia Haruchnius and Neshama Baziva Shechina began Eden. Without this, he wouldn't be able to come to spiritual seeing that happens in Gan Eden, in sitting and dwelling in the basking in the light of the Shekhinah, mitam haniskrah, for what we said above. Vidal. Zehu gam kenatam shir Rabbi Akiva is tired on Mesiras Nefesh b'poel not mamish b'guf. And this is why Rabbi Akiva had the pain in his body, because he wasn't exactly sure if his Nefesh Ativius had been purified. And so he couldn't wait to have Mesiras Nefesh b'poel mamish. He couldn't wait to have self-sacrifice and soul and body sacrifice for Hashem, because he knew when that would happen, then for sure his Nefesh Ativius would be have been rectified. Dafka. Shai Dezeh. And of course, when that would happen, his neshama above would experience a great aliyah to get even closer to the mahus va'atzmus and its perception of it. Masha ein came b'mesiras nefesh b'koach v'lo b'poel mamish. But when it's only b'koach, when it's only in potential and not in actuality, then who knows what's going to be with our neshamas? So it's like, whoa, if Rabbi Akiva was concerned about that and about having Mesiras Nefesh, because he wasn't sure what level he was holding on, how much more so should we be concerned? We need to have Mesiras Nefesh for the Yidden and for the world and for ourselves around us, and be done through many different ways, and it can be done through learning something extra. It can be done through tzedakah. Tzedakah is the main thing that the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach told us to do in this generation. Really, what is Mesiras Nefesh in this world around us? It's a good question, because everybody, every shliach, every person out there is experiencing it to some degree just by living in this world and doing Torah mitzvahs. So what's that one little extra thing we can do? I think it could actually be having Mesiras Nefesh to go on the internet and publicize Chassidus, because there's so much junk on there to go on there and have a little bit of guts to get on there and actually and show Torah mitzvahs without a problem. Then that fulfills the idea of spreading out your wellsprings all over the world, because anybody from Australia to France, England, Germany, Russia, America, Canada, Brazil can see this stuff. So it's worth it. Okay, l'chaim.